Good evening. And it's once again my pleasure to welcome you to this Thursday evening training. Today I'm doing my own intro. So maybe there are some new people, new distributors who have joined us in this month of January. My name is Betty Oloo. I've been a distributor for very many years with Pascal, my husband and partner in the business. We have achieved many things and rejoiced in many ways in our business. And it is always a pleasure for us to share some of our experiences and some of the knowledge that we have acquired over the years of doing the business, more than 2 decades, in fact. So let me thank you very much for attending, and also hope that you will find the sessions that we have this evening beneficial. As per your invitation, you may have noticed that my topic for today, the product topic, is going to be about immune health. And I think all of us, as a result especially of maybe previous experiences, but also as a result of the pandemic that we have experienced, must have had now reason to actually realize the importance of our immune health, because our immune health is what protects us from any alien organisms or substances that threaten our health. And much is still being discovered and learned about the immune system of the body. But I think that in days to come, it will be a more and more important aspect of human health to get to know better. So for today, I want us to speak a bit about the immune system itself, and then go on to seeing how we can help it to be healthier, because the health of our immune system actually is what assures our own health. Now, the immune system it functions as the body's immigration and defense department. You know, the Department of Immigration is the one which allows people to either come in or prevents them from coming in. So our immune system is in charge of that. And the defense department fights any alien, keeps us protected, and also fights any alien microbes that might have entered our bodies. So these are the two aspects of our immune system. And the immune system is not found in one place. So for example, when we speak about the respiratory system, we immediately think about the lungs. When we think about maybe the nervous system, we think about the brain and the nerves. But the immune system is distributed mainly in 4 places. The first place is the white blood cells, which circulate in our blood, within our blood, as part of the blood. These cells are manufactured in the bone marrow. So the second place where the immune system is distributed is in our bone marrow. And the third place is in a small gland found in our chest, right in the middle of our chest, called the thymus gland. And then the fourth place is in our gut, in the friendly bugs or microbes that are found in our gut, with which we have these microbes. We have evolved to work together with them in a friendly relationship where they help us in certain ways, and we help them by providing them with food and also an environment, a friendly environment in which to live. So those are the 4 places where we find our immune system being distributed in. And of course, without going into more details than that, just to know that there'll be different ways in which the immune system operates in those 4 different places. Of course, the immune system has got mechanisms for tracking, finding, as well as killing any unfriendly microbes that might have entered our bodies. But apart from that, it also retains some of the memory of previous fights. So for example, if our immune system has come across a certain germ, it will fight that germ, and after it wins, some of the memory of that germ will remain in our immune system, so that if we come across it again in future, we'll be able to quickly mount a defense against it and fight it. And that is why, for example, you may get an infection like let's say a common cold, and you get the cold, you get a little sick, and then you get better. Next time the cold comes, you'll be able to fight it quite well. And this is as a result of the fact that our immune system keeps a memory of those battles, so that when a similar variant or the same germ comes again, we'll be quickly able to mount a defense against it. So then, the microbiome is another area which is only now being well understood, and a lot of new information is coming to us about it. But this is located in our large intestine, and there we have got a large population of bacteria, fungus, and these ones perform the work of keeping us protected and keeping down the population of some of the harmful bugs that might try to harm us. So they are not us, they are not ourselves, but they are our friends. They are sort of like livestock which we keep, but instead of eating them, they defend us. So for example, when we normally say that you should eat a diet that has got plenty of healthy fiber, the fiber is not for us. The fiber is actually for our gut microbiome, because that's what the friendly bugs like. The harmful bugs, like let's say the harmful bacteria and fungus, they like sugar and refined foods. So if we are not feeding our friendly bugs with a good, healthy diet of natural food, then of course, we'll be starving the friendly bugs. And if, unfortunately, we are also taking in a lot of refined foods like sugars and refined carbohydrates, then the unfriendly bugs are going to be the ones who are increasing in number. So the two work in such a way that when the good ones are in large numbers, they keep down the numbers of the bad ones. But if we starve out the good ones, then the bad ones start increasing in number, and we start seeing that we tend to get sickly. So after that introduction about the location of our immune system, I wanted also to mention that a healthy immune system has mechanisms that enable it to distinguish between what is part of the body and what is foreign. So it distinguishes what we call self, that is the tissues of its own body, from the non-self, which are foreign tissues or cells. And this is so that it does not attack itself. So for example, my immune system should attack the non-self tissues. It should not attack my own tissues. Unfortunately, sometimes we can suffer from chronic inflammation as a result of maybe toxins that are in our bodies, or as a result of an infection, or as a result of maybe something that we are taking, to which we are reacting, a food we are allergic to. This can cause chronic inflammation if we keep on putting it in our body. And this chronic inflammation will overstress our immune system. And when our immune system is overstressed, what happens is that it fails to distinguish between the self and the non-self. And that means that it starts attacking the self tissues. When it attacks the self tissues, we start having what we call autoimmune diseases. And I think those who have been with us training for a while, you've heard me mention many times, or in other places, I'm sure you've had the mention of autoimmune diseases, for example, things like lupus, things like psoriasis, and so on. These are illnesses that are the result of the immune system attacking its own tissues. And it tends to come from an overstressed immune system. So it does not mean that the immune system is too strong. What it means is that the immune system is stressed and is now not able to distinguish the self from the non-self. It just starts attacking everything. And when it does that, then you have these autoimmune illnesses. So there are very many different types of autoimmune illnesses. And the way we deal with them is to support our immune system so that not only does it protect us, but it also does not attack our own tissues, as I've mentioned. So some of the things that we notice are these. How can we support our immune system? The first and most important thing is to have a healthy lifestyle That means that all the different lifestyle aspects are considered, and we try to make sure that we are dealing in a healthy way with the way that we live. Another thing to note is that as we age, we find that our immune system can actually also age. It doesn't remain as robust as it is when we are younger. And for instance, the gland that I spoke about, the most important gland of the immune system is the thymus gland, which is here in the middle of the chest. It starts shrinking from around puberty. So late childhood to puberty, this gland starts shrinking, which means that our output of the cells that are going to fight infections is not increasing, rather it is decreasing. And by the time you are older, we may find that the immune system actually becomes quite weak. And that is why we notice that as people get into their old age, they may be more susceptible to infections, which we normally shake off. So you may have noticed, for instance, I remember my mother in her middle years was a very healthy woman, hardly ever sick, unless she got an infection like malaria. But as she grew older, she would start struggling with things like a flu that would not go away. She would have a flu that would go on for a month, even longer. And that is because the body's immune system starts struggling to fight and successfully defeat the harmful microbes. You may find other people struggling with things like urinary tract infections that don't go away, or they may have some problems to do with something like infections of various sorts that just keep on coming back and becoming chronic. And that is an indication that maybe the immune system is not as robust as it used to be. And for that reason, when we are talking about making sure that our immune system is healthy, we also need to remember, as older people, myself included, that our immune system also needs to be kept robust so that it helps, it is able to fight. And I think also with the pandemic, we have also noticed that older people are more susceptible, whereas younger people are a lot less susceptible. And that is because of the fact that our immune system can be compromised as we age. So then, what causes this reduction in the robustness of the immune system as we age? One of the things is an accumulation of harmful microbes and toxins, because the longer we have been alive, the longer, of course, we have been exposed to different harmful things, and some of them may remain in our system, and as years go by, they may keep on staying there and causing problems. I think it was last week that I mentioned that we sometimes keep toxins in our fatty tissue. So if our body is not able to detox, one of the plan B, which the body uses, is to take the toxins and to store them in the fatty tissues. And that is why sometimes we may struggle to maintain a healthy weight, because our body is afraid to let go of the weight because it is storing toxins there. And I think I mentioned that that is one of the reasons why we should periodically have a detox, so that we don't carry a lot of toxins and accumulate them in our bodies. So that's one of the reasons why our immune system can start to lag, because we have an accumulation of harmful microbes as well as toxins. Another reason, of course, is the one I mentioned, that our thymus gland begins to shrink. And that means that our ability to fight new infections can be reduced. Of course, remember we say that our immune system also keeps a memory. So the memories will be there and will also help us to fight, but our ability to fight new microbes reduces because the thymus gland is no longer there to provide us with some of the fighter cells that do that work. Then the third reason why our immune system ages and becomes weaker is the reduction of the quantity and variety of our gut microbiome. So our gut microbiome is not just one kind of microbe. There are many different ones. And the more the variety, the better they fight for us. And that is why we should try to eat a varied diet, a varied natural diet. So we don't just eat the one kind of fruit that we like. So for example, some people like bananas. So whenever you say eat more fruit, they like bananas, so they just eat more bananas. it's better to eat a variety. So maybe you may eat some bananas, but you can also add apples. You can add, in our Africa, we still have many wild fruits, which are also very good. Like some of the wild berries, I know that when I was growing up, there were many wild berries that we knew were not poisonous because they were part of our treats that actually provide us with a lot of a wide variety of nutrients, but at the same time, they make sure that our gut microbiome is varied. So that is another thing to keep in mind when we are thinking about our immune system, to take care of our gut microbiome. And this we do by ensuring that we eat a diet that is healthy and has got plenty of vegetables and some fruits and a wide variety as well. So if for starches, for example, we can't just keep on eating bread. We should eat things like arrowroot. We should try things like yams. We can eat rice, white rice, brown rice, black rice. There are very many. If you are something like beans, there is such a wide variety of beans. We should try a wide variety of colorful foods, because this actually is what makes sure that we have also a wide variety of gut microbes to help us to fight a wide variety of harmful microbes that might be trying to attack us. So from there, let us go to seeing how to keep our immune system robust and also youthful. So the first is, of course, as I've said, a healthy diet with good quality meat. So for example, we get good fish, good animals for our meat. We should also have healthy fats in our diet, things like avocados, things like ghee, coconut oil, olive oil, and so on. And we should also eat plenty of vegetables of different types, the leafy ones. We can also eat the rooted ones and so on. Things like pumpkin, things like all these vegetables are very many and very varied. So it's not only cabbage and spinach and so on. We should also have things like mchichas and osugas and all these, our traditional vegetables, because they form that part of that variety that I'm talking about. And this will help to maintain a healthy immune system, as I've said, by giving us a good variety in our guts, and also by ensuring that we get not only from our supplements, but also from our diet, we get a wide variety of nutrients. Then the next thing after our diet is we should spend time in the sun. And here in our continent, we are very fortunate because we get sunshine for most of the months of the year. Unfortunately, some of us might, as a result of our work or as a result of whatever reason, we may not spend enough time in the sun. And if that should be the case, we should take vitamin D supplements, because this is a very important nutrient for our immune system. And this is one of the things that the COVID pandemic has brought to the fore, the importance of vitamin D. And I think here in South Africa, we now have got the vitamin D standalone, D3, which was introduced last year, and maybe is going to be introduced to the other regions, I hope. But also to remember that here in Africa, we don't have to worry so much, because if we spend something like 20 minutes to half an hour in the sun with maybe short-sleeved clothes that expose enough of our skin, then our skins are able to manufacture the vitamin D from that. And I think I've mentioned on many occasions, but let me repeat again, that if you are dark-skinned, then it is more important that you get proper exposure, because especially if you're in the temperate lands like the European countries, or even here in the southern parts of Africa, certain times of the year, the sun is not strong enough to give you as much vitamin D as you need. So for that reason, if you are darker skinned, someone such as myself, in the winter months in Southern Africa or in Europe, I might need to be a person who is supplementing with vitamin D to ensure that I don't fall short, because vitamin D has been found to have very many functions, of which the immune system is only one. Then the next thing that we need to have is that we should, to maintain our immune system, we should on and off take chelated zinc. We don't have to take it continuously. That is for specifically for the immune system. Of course, zinc has got very many other functions, but specifically for our immune system, we should take zinc on and off, because it's very important for our immunity. And of course, we know 3 and N is important for cellular health. but as well magnesium. And I'm happy now that we can recommend magnesium freely because it's now available in East Africa, where it has recently been introduced. And we have had it here in Southern Africa from last year. This is another important supplement for our immune system, and which we tend to be deficient in because there isn't enough of it in the soil. So supplementing with magnesium is important for our immune system, as well as for a number of other things, such as improving our sleep quality. Then the next point is to get enough sleep. Our immunity is actually dependent on how well we sleep. And you probably have experienced the fact that if you have had many days of bad sleep, you become more susceptible to infection. So you might find that, let's say you've had a funeral and you have been very involved in it, as unfortunately we have Paul, who is at the moment bereaved, and they're having the funeral now. Usually it's quite involving, and you spend a lot of time maybe not getting sleep as you arrange things. And you may find that afterwards you may have flu, or you may have a cold, because your immune system is suffering as a result of lack of good sleep. So then the next is to keep active. If you're a member of a gym, well and good, but there are other ways in which we can keep active by spending some time walking during the day, maybe walking in the sun so that we get the vitamin D at the same time. We can be active in that we do some of the chores at home, or we play some sports, different ways in which we should maintain our activity, because our bodies have evolved to move for long periods of the day. And our current lifestyle of sitting for long periods of the day is quite harmful to our health, and that includes our immune health. So to try and be active in whatever way that is convenient for us, so that we keep our immune system healthy. Then the last point here is that we should also try to resolve chronic lifestyle illnesses. And this is where we know that our Neolife products are very important, because they help us a lot in resolving lifestyle-related illnesses. So if, for example, someone has high blood pressure, or a cardiovascular illness, or they've got asthma, type 2 diabetes, kidney disease, or excessive body weight, all these are things that can reduce the effectiveness of our immune system. And for that reason, we should actually take steps to resolve it. And once again, to mention the pandemic, it has created a greater awareness of the fact that these illnesses that we have become used to, that we might be having, but we don't do anything about, can actually put us at a serious disadvantage when some of these infections come along. So to try and resolve these lifestyle-related illnesses, and of course, as the year goes along, we are going to talk about some of them, some of the more common ones. So I will leave that there and go on to mention our Neolife supplements that will help us to maintain an optimal immune system. And the first one, of course, which I had already mentioned, but we'll mention again, is TreeNN, because TreeNN is our baseline supplement that ensures that our cells and cell membranes are functioning well and benefiting from all the other good things that we do in a healthy lifestyle. Then the next one is Neolife Shake or NutriShake, whichever one you have in your market. This is our protein drink, which has got high quality, broad spectrum of amino acids that ensure that we have what we need to repair our tissues. So the Neolife Shake or NutriShake is an important addition for our optimal immune system. The third one is Phytodefense, which is our superstar in cleaning up free radicals and precancerous cells and ensuring that our immune system is well supported with a broad range of plant-based nutrients that are known to make sure that we are capable of fighting very well using our immune system. So Phytodefense, which we also recommend for people who have autoimmune illnesses, people who have got cancers. These are the things, the Phytodefense is our superstar in this area, because the immune system also plays a role in finding and destroying precancerous cells, as I think I mentioned previously. Then the next one is vitamin C. which is involved in the function and repairing of many tissues, because we know that when we are sick, we are under attack by germs, what we find is that some of the tissues will be destroyed. Some of the cells that form part of our immune system are going to be killed in the fight against disease, and vitamin C is going to help very much in the repairing of the destroyed tissues. Then I think I already mentioned, but we'll repeat again, the sunshine or vitamin D or vitamin A plus D, if you don't yet have vitamin D in your market. This one helps both in the absorption of calcium, but at the same time, it helps the body in reducing the possibility of autoimmune diseases, and also in helping our immune system to work correctly. Then the other one is chelated zinc, which plays a role in supporting the thymus gland and other parts of our immune system so that they can function well. And it also helps in the healing of internal wounds, which can result from various things, not only from operations, but also, as I said, as a result of illness. So zinc plays an important role in the healing of our internal tissues. Then omega-3 salmon oil helps to reduce inflammation. And remember, I said that one of the things that can make our immune system problematic is chronic inflammation. So omega-3 is very good for reducing inflammation. So if we tend to have all these reactions, that inflammation that comes from things like asthma, things like other different allergies, then omega-3 is very helpful there. And it supports our immune system by reducing inflammation. Then we have garlic allium, which is an antimicrobial. It helps to fight harmful bugs and reduce their population in our large intestine. So garlic allium will form an important part of supporting our gut microbiome by helping it to fight the harmful microbes that might be trying to take advantage. For example, like the microbes that cause candida. These usually, they take advantage. If our gut microbiome is weak, then they multiply and increase, and we start having all these candida infections, maybe in our mouths, in our private parts, and so on. And garlic allium will help with this. But the one that is really helpful here is the last one, which I'm hoping will be introduced to all the different markets in Africa, and that is Acidophilus plus, which boosts our gut microbiome and helps us, our gut bugs to be in good shape and increases their numbers. And as I said, when there are many, then they will fight better for us. So those are some of the supplements that we can recommend for supporting our immune system. And some of the habits that actually will lead to problems in our immune system will be smoking, smoking of cigarettes and different kinds of tobacco, and also pollution will play a role because they irritate the air passages, for instance, and can also make us susceptible to being infected by harmful microbes. Then sugar and refined carbohydrates are another danger for our immune system. I already mentioned chronic systemic stress. That is, I mentioned chronic inflammation. So the other one is chronic systemic stress. So if we have got stress within our bodies that maybe as a result of our situation in life, then that can harm our immune system. Insufficient sleep, I think I already mentioned, and also lack of sufficient exposure to sunshine. And if for one reason or another, the things that I've mentioned will actually overstress our immune system and can lead to autoimmune diseases. So those are some of the points I wanted to share with you this evening. And once again, I hope that I shall have time next time to maybe do a Q&A so that I answer some of the questions that I've received. But in the meanwhile, my time is up. I want to thank you for your attention and for spending this time with us in training, and to wish you all the best as the year unwinds itself. And we see that the month of January is really racing ahead. We shall soon be working our way towards month end. Let me wish you all the best, and we keep on doing everything that we can to go out there and meet those people who are looking for us, because I know, because I myself
Hello, Paul. Ladies and gentlemen, sincere apologies. I'm not really sure what happened there. We just got disconnected, but we are back online. I think Betty has done a very fantastic session on the immune system. In the next about 25 minutes or 30, I want to speak to you about the immune system of your business. How can you keep your business strong and healthy so that it can grow and give you the benefits that you want? You see, Betty said that the immune system of our body is located in 4 areas. I think using the same analogy, the strength of our business is in 4 areas. I remember when we were new in the business, we were taught something called structure for diamond. Structure for diamond is when you look at your business in specific areas, and if you pay attention to those areas, your business will eventually grow to a diamond director business. For those of you who are guests or are very new in the business, a diamond director business is a business that has 10 director legs and is doing at least 200,000 PV, group PV a month. And that gives you an income of minimum of $10,000 a month. So what I want to discuss with you are 4 aspects of the business. Today I'll discuss two of those aspects. Then next week we can discuss the other 2. 4 areas of the business that will ensure that your business grows to diamond directors is: number 1, personal PV. The amount of products you retail as a distributor, you and your customers. The second aspect is doing the basics. The basics of our business, which causes growth. That is building a name list, learning how to invite professionally, showing the plan and making a follow-up. That process is called the sponsoring process, is what helps your business to actually grow. The third element is paying attention to the structure. How do you build director legs so that they become strong and qualify month after month? And the fourth element about a healthy immune business is friendship. Friendship is the glue that keeps your business together so that it can grow to the level you want. If you permit me, I would like to share the screen with you. Slideshow. All right. Back to basics. In this session, I would like to discuss with you the basics. Why do we keep repeating about the basics? You keep repeating about the basics because if you really want to master anything, always pay attention to the basics. I was reading an article about a very famous US golfer, Tiger Woods. Whenever Tiger Woods' play would get worse, his coach would tell him, Tiger, go back to the basics, go back to the basics. If you pay attention to the basics, your golf will become right. The same is our business. If you want our business to grow, let's go back to the basics all the time, because basics is what makes our business grow. Remember 3 things about our business. What do we do in our business? We move products from Neolife to different customers. How do we do it? We make use of 3 natural laws of life. The first law is sowing and reaping, that is talking to people. The second one is the principle of increasing returns. That means we talk to people who talk to other people. The third one is delayed gratification. You have to wait for a growing season. If you want to succeed in life, you cannot plant a seed today and expect a harvest tomorrow. It takes a whole growing season for the seed to become fruitful and give you the results that you want. So those are the 3 laws that we use in our business. But there are also 3 other powers that you need to cultivate and exercise to become very proficient in building our business. You need to learn the power of connection, that is relationships. Number 2, you need to master the power of your story. if you tell stories, you're going to recruit more people in the business. If you explain the business in detail so much, people will try to understand what you're saying and the mind gets stuck. So learn the power of a story to affect people's hearts. And then the power of your networks, that is the people you know. Now, what are the basics that we do in our business? The basics we do in our business is very simple. Use the products, share the business and the products, personal development. But today I want to talk to you about the sponsoring process. The sponsoring process is what really creates growth in our business. If you permit me, I would like to share another screen with you. The sponsoring process. When you are new in the business, we attended what was called nuts and bolts. And I remember our upline leader, Johannes van Eden, drew this W, and this W has stuck in my mind forever. It will not go out because it shows you how the sponsoring process is. If you remember this W, you can remember the sponsoring process, and each prospect is at one point, one stage of this W process. The first place of the prospecting process is the list, the prospects list or the name list. That is a list of people that you want to introduce the business to. This is the most important resource of your business, your prospects list. But what do you do with this before I go to what you do with the prospect list, there are 3 rules about the prospect list. Number 1, do not prejudge. Don't prejudge anybody in this business because you don't know who it is who has been praying for a business opportunity like this one. So the first step is do not prejudge. Step number 2, write the names down. You see, the human brain is a fantastic machine. It is a fantastic, there is nothing in creation that is similar to the brain. The brain is a very efficient machine, but it doesn't remember things easily the way you want it to. That is why you need to write the names down. Write the names down of your prospects. The third rule about the name list is tick the names off. What does that mean? Speak to each person on your list one by one. You can invite 20 people for a meeting, but you need to invite them individually, not as a group. So 3 rules about the prospect list. Number 1, don't prejudge. Number 2, write the names down. Number 3, tick the names off the list. Once you've got the prospect list, the next step of the sponsoring process is learn how to invite professionally. Inviting simply means asking a qualifying question. John, are you open to look at a way to generate extra income? John, would you like to make extra money? Are you open to look at a business that will help you to become financially independent? Those are qualifying questions that will make the prospect seek more information. The next thing is to you invite for a business opportunity presentation. But for effectiveness, use tools to invite. For example, the Neolife 2 minutes and 38-second video, you can use that to invite your prospects. That video is not meant to explain the business. That video is meant to trigger their interest to know more about the business, okay? You can give them a magazine, send them a short video, give them a brochure, something that they can look at before they come for the business opportunity presentation. So the third step of the sponsoring process is to expose your prospect to the business opportunity presentation. This is where somebody who is trained does the business opportunity presentation, and you as a sponsor pay attention to what is being said. You will notice that we do the presentation the same way, with the same process, maybe the same jokes. Why do we do that? Because it is easy to duplicate. That is why we do it that way. Once the business opportunity, you've done the business opportunity presentation, the next step is follow-up. Follow-up simply means you ask the prospects if they want to do the business. 4 questions. Number 1, once the prospects have seen the business, ask them a simple question. Did the business make sense? Number 2, what did you like most about the business? Number 3, do you see yourself succeeding in our business? And number 4, if they say yes to the first 3 questions, the next question is, when can you get the money to get started in the business? Now, you need to follow up 5 to 8 times, because my experience is there are very few people who make the decision immediately. Some people you have to follow them 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, sometimes even 10 times. Okay, so the average person doesn't make the decisions quickly or immediately. So you need to follow up so that you can get a decision. And the decision can be one of the 3. 1, yes, I want to start the business, you get the kit. Or I just want to be a customer, I want to buy the products, or no, I'm not interested in the business. Those are the 3 possible outcomes of the follow-up process. So that is the sponsoring process. That is one of the basics you need to master. Remember, sponsoring is a process. And this process, you take the prospects through a, let me say, called a pipeline of exposing the business so that they can actually come to a decision-making process. Once they've made a decision, then the whole process starts again. From their list, prospect list, you teach them how to invite, for the business opportunity presentation, how to follow up, and so that their prospects can also become distributors like them. That is what the prospect is. And the reason why this is a W, because our business is work. That is why it's called network marketing. It is not net sit or net let's be or net. This is a network marketing business. We work in the business by exposing the idea to new people. Okay, so that is what the sponsoring process is, and this makes a very important part of our basics. Our basics is use the products, share the product, and sponsor people share the business opportunity. The next week's session, we are going to pay attention to 2 other things. That is the business structure and how to do your personal PV. But today, I want to share with you something that is very critical for our long-term success in the business. What is that? That is friendship. Friendship is a very, very important thing in the business, but in all human relations. I remember when we were new in the business, my sponsor, Hansi Cronier, sent us a document called Structure for Diamond. And the 3rd element about Structure for Diamond is build friendship to build a diamondship. Diamondship is when you have at least 10 direct legs and you're doing 200,000 PV. Why is this important? Because remember that our business is a relationship business. And therefore, one of the things that you really need to pay attention to is friendship. The good book says, a faithful friend is a sturdy shelter. He that has found one has found a treasure. And the things to underline is, number 1, sturdy shelter. Number 2, a treasure. There are about 300 people in this session today. Before you sleep tonight, I would suggest to you to sit down and write down names of 5 people that you would say, so and so is actually my friend. What are the basic things you need to look at for true friendship to emerge and to, in fact, I think it's easier to make a friend than to keep a friend, because keeping a friend requires discipline, requires virtue, requires you to be a person that can be relied upon. There are 3 things you need to check for your friendship to last. Number 1, mutual interest. It's important. You can't say a person is your friend, but you have nothing which you have interest in common. So the first aspect about friendship is mutual interest. This allows people to share precious moments, because those are the things that make for friendship. The second thing is common concern. Common concern means that you are concerned or worried or look at the things which both of you agree upon, or with your friend. Common concern helps us to go through difficulties in life, because if you are concerned about something and the person you say is your friend is not concerned about it, the basis of your friendship is weak. So the second aspect about the second basics of friendship is common concern. It helps you go through difficulty, but it also enables similar value system to guide us. You see, if you tell somebody is a friend of yours, but if you are doing business, they don't mind doing something which is not ethical, your value system is different, that friendship will not last. So common concern helps us to use the same value system to guide our lives or our actions. So you need to have similar value systems. But the third element, I think, which is the most important, is human virtues. What is a human virtue? A human virtue is a habit that inclines us to do good. And what, if you may ask, what is good? To do good is to do something that makes somebody else better than they were before. That is what goodness means. Okay? For example, if you sponsor somebody, to be good to them means you teach them how to build this business so that they become a better leader in the business. That is what goodness means. Goodness means you do something that makes persons better. Okay? But there are essentially about 4 to 5 very important human virtues that you need to develop if you're really going to be truly a friend to somebody. The first is called prudence. Prudence simply means you need to be able to judge things correctly. That means that I was reading a book some time ago, and there's a quotation that really stuck to my mind. We need to be able to jump at opportunities as quickly as we jump to conclusions. What does that mean? That we need to take time before we jump into conclusions. And judging correctly means you weigh things up. You get information about both sides of the story that you're going to judge. If you have doubt, ask the advice of somebody whose judgment you respect, so that they can give you a different viewpoint before you make your judgment. So prudence is simply a virtue that helps us to judge correctly. In other words, a virtue that helps us to be wise. The second virtue that I would recommend that is very important is temperance. Temperance simply means we need habits that help us regulate our desires. Because sometimes we can have desires that really takes us off the chart. Temperance simply means to regulate your desires. 2 or 3 aspects of regulating our desires. Number 1 is a sexual urge. It's very important for us to keep our sexual urges under check. Number 2 is to regulate our desire for eating of food. Number 3, we need to regulate our desire for curiosity. Because human beings are curious. Sometimes we want to poke our noses into things which do not concern us. And temperance is the virtue that helps us to regulate those desires. The third human virtue that is very important, especially this kind of business, is fortitude. What is fortitude? Is the attitude, is the habit that helps us to endure hardships for a worthwhile goal. Those of you who are in the business for a long time, you know that this business is not easy. You know that this business requires guts. It requires persistence. It requires you to have internal strength. You need to have, I think the reason why they use the word you need to have guts is that there's part of our being that we can only feel in our gut. And fortitude is the human virtue that helps us to endure hardship without complaining for a worthwhile goal. The other virtue that helps us to be good friends is the virtue of justice. What is this? This is a virtue that helps us to give everybody what is their due. And what do I mean by that? Respect where respect is due. Good name where somebody's good name is important. Loyalty, for example, our business, loyalty to your team, loyalty to your spouse, loyalty to the company, loyalty to your goals. These are very important aspects of justice. Justice gives you giving everybody what is their due. And the last one is humility. Humility is a very important virtue because it helps us to know who we really are without overrating ourselves and without undermining ourselves. The word humility comes from the word humus, which means soil or dirt. Humility is a virtue that helps us to, my experience in this business is when you start becoming very, very successful, it's very easy for that success to go to get into your head. And what keeps you in check is humility. That means you're able to speak to a new person or a very old distributor, that you're able to speak to a prospect or a customer with respect. So humility is a very important human virtue that helps you to become a good friend. So friendship is very important. And the book that I would recommend for everybody to go and buy and read is How to Win Friends and Influence People. That book was written, in fact, there are 3 books which are written around 1937 and 1938, which are being used up to now to build our business. And these 3 books have been recommended in our Getting Started document by Neolife. It's on page 13. One of them is Think and Grow Rich. Number 2 is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And number 3, How I Raised Myself from Failure to Success Through Selling by Frank Bettger. These are books which are written in the 30s, and their principles are eternal. The one that I referred to about friendship is How to Win Friends and Influence People. These books are very, very good, and they help us to really think about what a friend is. The question I'd like to ask you is this. Would you say you're a good friend to your team, to your spouse, to your distributors? Would you say, if you are to sit down and write down the virtues or the things that we've been talking about, the human virtues, would you say that you actually got those virtues built into yourself? Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I want to hand over back to Gladys to close for us, or Paul, if he's available. Thank you so much for sharing this evening with us. We wanted to share those few ideas with you so that we can grow our business to the next level. So thank you very much, and God bless you.
Pascal, you can close for us. It is all right. Thank you very much.
Okay, Gladys. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We really appreciate you spending this evening with us. We hope that the few ideas we've shared with you is going to help you build your business up to Diamond Director business. I truly believe that 2022 is a year we are going to see new Diamond Directors in our organization. Thank you, and God bless.